Hi everyone, I welcome you again to another episode on the Law and and it's still your host Folakemi Jegede. I know a lot of things happening in our country right now, and as much as I sympathize with the people that have lost their lives, I also look forward to a better Nigeria. And it is important for us to be abreast of our rights, rules and regulation as it affects us in this particular situation we are in. So I have titled today's topic as our right to protest and the responsibility of the government. At the end of this episode, we should be able to understand our right as citizens and also government actions, whether it's justiciable or reasonable, and remedies and actions applicable. What do you understand as a protest? I will define a protest to mean a statement or action expressing your disapproval or objection to something. All the youth and everyone has really expressed their disapproval as related to end SARS, end police brutality, end bad governance, which shows that we are expressing how bitter and how much we want a change in our country, Nigeria. But do you know that the right to protest is not expressly stated under the Constitution? However, there are provisions under our Constitution that can be linked to right to protest, such as right to freedom of speech, right to association, right to assembly. Section 39 and Section 40 of the Constitution provide as follows. Every person shall be entitled to freedom of expression, including to hold opinion and to receive, impart ideas without interference. Section 40 of the Constitution specifically provides for freedom of assembly, to associate with other persons. We can say that the peaceful protest done so far can fall under Section 39 and Section 40 of the Constitution. The crux of the protest is to end police brutality, degrading human treatment, and so on, which is provided for also under Section 34 of the Constitution, that every individual is entitled to respect for the dignity of his person. No person shall be subject to torture, inhuman or degrading treatment, and so on. So it's not like the demand of the protesters is beyond their rights. It's still limited to their rights as provided for under Section 34 of the Constitution. However, we should also note that the right of freedom of expression and freedom of association is not absolute. It is limited. So, Section 45 of the Constitution provides that nothing in this section, Section 37, Section 38, Section 39, and Section 40 and 41 shall invalidate any law that is reasonable, justiciable in democratic society, such as in the interest of defense, public safety, public order, public morality, or public health, for the purpose of protecting the rights and freedom of other persons. Kindly note that a protest will not be termed as a peaceful protest because of the name. No, because you term a protest, a peaceful protest does not connote that it's actually a peaceful protest. How will you know a peaceful protest? It's by its nature and its evidential result. You understand? So the same right accrued to you to have a freedom of assembly is also the same right accrued to another person to have a freedom of movement, to have freedom of speech. So that another person did not join in the protest does not mean that the person has done anything wrong. Mean that we want good governance, we want our country to change, does not mean that some people share of that view, and it doesn't also mean that they've done something bad. We are in a democratic setting, so they have the right to their own opinion. Also, in ensuring public safety and public order, which has been granted under Section 45 of the Constitution, the government can also act if they see that the protest is going outside the peaceful protest, or it has resulted to riots, destruction, and when they intervene, it's basically for them to ensure public safety and public order. According to Section 45(1), which is the limitation that is placed on a protest, is to ensure public safety. So, what is the role of the government to ensure public safety? As provided for under Section 10 of the Police Act, the President may give the Inspector General of Police such direction in maintaining and securing public safety and public order as he may consider necessary, and the Inspector General shall comply with the direction. Also, the governor can give a direction to the Commissioner of Police, but subject to the President's approval and direction. In this case, peradventure, the protests went haywire and there was any form of riot. It is the duty of the police to intervene. In a democratic setting, that is the first step to be done. Can you say that the action of the government is proportionate to the action of the peaceful protesters? Can you say that in the midst of the peaceful protest, the action appropriate for the government is the use of force in such circumstances? Have they exhausted negotiation? Have they exhausted peaceful communication? Have they exhausted any other option before using the use of force and weapon on the peaceful protesters? The military will only come into action as provided for under Section 217 and 218 of the Constitution, which is the role of the military in support of efforts in enhancing national security. And I read, Section 217 deals with its establishment and composition, while Section 218 deals with command and the operational use of the armed forces. My emphasis will be on Section 217 sub 2 of the Constitution, which provides that the Federation shall, subject to an act of the National Assembly made in that behalf, equip and maintain the armed forces as may be considered adequate and effective for the purpose of A. demanding Nigeria from external aggression, which in this case is not applicable. 2. maintaining its territorial integrity with its borders, which in this case is not applicable. 3rd, suppressing insurrection and acting in aid of civil authorities to restore order when called upon to do so by the President. So my discussion will be on this sub 3 of 217 of the Constitution. This brings about two components. Number one, armed forces supposed to come into action to support the civil police in an event that they were not able to cope with the civil disturbance or any of the unrest. So in this particular case, the police were not even called to do anything, and the army were the one that was called, which makes the action of the government very unreasonable, because when do you make use of the army? It is when you've exhausted the option of the police. Can you say that the action of the government is reasonable in these circumstances? The government did not make use of civil authorities in this particular case as provided for under the Constitution. And the government did not exhaust options at all before going and deploying the armed forces. Can you say that the action of the armed forces is proportionate to what has been done by the peaceful protesters? What are the actions, what are the remedies available for us as citizens of Nigeria? We should know that the meaning of doing the right thing in politics is to do what is best for the well-being of the citizenry and the society at large. Because the lack of genuine and meaningful political accountability means that the government officials are free to commit immoral and outrageous political crimes against their people without being checked, without being taken to court, or without being punished for their actions. So, what are we going to do? Number one, whether we like it or not, the law is there. As provided for under the Constitution, particularly Section 40 gives us the right to exercise and institute action against any infringement on our fundamental human rights. So we have the right to go to court and seek redress that our right has been breached by anyone nor by any government. Another thing I will also say is that we are done talking. It's time for change. Let's come out of our comfort zone. Let's position ourselves also to bring a change to our country, Nigeria. But there is one thing I will say. Are you prepared for the change? If you are there, will you do something different? Or it's going to be a business as usual? Or you are going to get there and see it as an opportunity to also enrich your pockets and your family's pockets? So think today and understand what are we really fighting for, because injustice everywhere is a threat to justice anywhere. Don't forget that we are representative of the change. So what are you going to do in your own capacity? And the third one is that don't let us feel bad because our government is in one position today or our president is in one position today and they have immunity, so we cannot institute action against them. However, after their tenure, we have the right to institute action against them for genocide, for breach of trust, institute civil or criminal proceedings against them. We don't stop because of what has happened. We keep doing the right things in our corners. Every position you find yourself, don't mirror what you are fighting against. Do justice within your corner. Do justice within your own sphere of influence. Within your own sphere, you are saying no to police brutality, end to SARS. If you are in a position that you are using police to also bully another person, we are saying no to such acts. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel at The Law and I. Follow us on social media on The Law and I, and you can send an email to our email lawandhi@gmail.com. You can also follow me, Folakemi Jess, on Instagram. You can send your inquiry, your comment. Kindly share, like, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.